Okay, so I have made an introductory cutscene and a tutorial section for my game. They're not finished yet, so keep that in mind as you watch it. There are a couple of graphical things that look a bit unpolished still, and also certain sounds like the noise the brain makes when it's talking, that kind of fake speech garbled thing, which is just snippets of my voice with reverb added, cut up, and randomly selected from. Um, that's going to be a bit different in the final product. So if things seem a little bit shit, I'm probably aware of it and am considering it placeholder. But I want to show it anyway because there are certain things in here that are finished. But yeah, feel free to put something in the comments if something stands out as particularly in need of change. All right, so that is the beginning of the game as it currently stands. So you start off, there's a dialogue choice, a kind of cutscene, a very short, strange one, and then you're thrown into this tutorial area, which is a ship overgrown by plants, and then you die, and then it goes to another cutscene after that, which I didn't show. And you basically inevitably die there. I mean, I can't survive in that section. Technically, you could get back to your ship and fly away, but I mean, if I can't do it, and like not even being close to being able to get out of that area, I'm pretty sure it is essentially impossible. I don't think anyone would be able to complete that area, which is the idea. So you're meant to die there. Um, and then there's the next scene is kind of a dialogue between your character and the brain. So I wanted to give the main character a bit of substance rather than them just being like a little green piece of pixel art, which they essentially are. That's why they're so small in everything else, which is hand drawn. And yeah, I didn't want them to just be completely nothing. So the dialogue helps to flesh out their character a little bit more. Essentially, it's just someone that's really confused and has no idea what's going on. And yeah, previously I had it so that if you selected yes in that dialogue option at the start, it just skipped the tutorial area and went to the planet select screen. You could still go to the tutorial area, but only if you clicked on it. And then I realized that most people are probably just going to pick yes for fun. Like they're not going to think, oh, this is asking me whether or not I know how to play the game. They're just going to go, yeah, I know why I'm floating in space. Why not? So now it's just a branching dialogue. So if you select yes, it changes the way that the brain talks, which emojis it displays. And if you select no, it's a different set of options. And it may bear some influence later on, but I realized it's silly to actually have that dialogue choice determine whether or not you get the story, whether or not you learn how to play. Because a lot of people are just going to miss out on their new tutorial section. Like how I had it previously, they would just be thrown in and they would think, wow, this game sucks at introducing you to its mechanics, which it still does, actually. So at the moment, you kind of get so after that tutorial area, when you go onto the first planet, the first upgrade you get is kind of a dash ability. You also get the missile upgrade. And it doesn't tell you how to use them. Like it doesn't even tell you which buttons to press. So I had an information screen that would appear after you got the dash ability showing you how you can use it to pass through walls and you can use it to kill enemies, as well as just get a bit of a speed boost. But I think what I need to do after having had one friend test it is, well, A, tell the player which button to press to use it, and B, actually have a little tutorial area that's just triggered by going, when you get back to the menu after you've collected a new upgrade, it'll just automatic, like each time that menu room begins, it'll trigger the game to check whether the player has upgrade A, have they also completed tutorial A? And if they haven't, just send them straight to that tutorial. So you wouldn't notice that process happening because it would happen before the level select screen kind of appeared, or the planet select screen. So that's going to be the next step, just to get it actually intuitive and having the game communicate to the player how to play it. That's probably important. After that, there's a whole lot of bugs that I need to fix. I have a habit of getting things working in the way that I intend them to be used, and then neglecting to make them work in ways that they're not meant to be used. So there are certain things that you can do in the game that you may incidentally do as a player that doesn't know what they're doing, or intentionally do because you're just trying to test the boundaries, that can trigger a few minor glitches. I don't think it's possible to crash the game anymore, but it probably is. So yeah, there's a lot of like slightly less fun debugging stuff to do now. And then I'm going to start making the second planet. I've already drawn a whole lot of art for it, and I've uploaded some of it in, made a few tile sets and things. I have like a dozen little snippets of music that I like that could evolve into the music for that level. Because each level has its own kind of 3-minute piece that plays over the 3-minute time limit. So yeah, that'll be another thing to work on. And I also something that I've noticed is that when you die without getting back to your ship, it really is quite punishing, because it's kind of like you have to go back through the rooms that weren't too challenging to you to get to the part that was challenging. And that's fine to an extent, but if you're dying over and over again, you can take different paths within the planet to mix it up if you're finding an area too challenging, and you might get some upgrades that make that initial section easier for you. But I want there to be, especially now that I'm more happy with the platforming mechanics, I just want there to be a simple linear challenge of get from A to B, and if you die, you just immediately reappear at A. Like that formula that a lot of ultra hard platformers use, where it's just you are immediately having the next round. So you die about 10 frames later, there's your character again at the start. Because at the moment, if you die, there's this kind of slightly protracted thing of, oh, do you want to try again? Do you want to go to the planet select menu? If you want to try again, the screen fades to black, and then it shows your ship landing once more. And I don't want to skip that, because I want it to... I think it does help with the immersion a bit when you kind of see, the ship coming down and you jumping out of it on a fresh run. But I don't know. I want to stretch what... I want the player to have to stretch what is possible with the mechanics, like the dash ability and this kind of speed boost. And I've got a double jump working more effectively now. And short, sharp, linear challenges would be a good way to do that. But yeah, it might be a little bit too ambitious. So that's just something that I want to do, that I am demonstrating self-control in not making. Just because I don't want it to be infinitely in development. Yes, so that is what I'm doing next. That is what I've done. What else? No, that's all.